me. Generals gathered in their masses. Get out of the way.
Deep breath, guys. Welcome to Office Hours with Amber. I'm Amber, and this is Office Hours. It is Monday, July 13th, and according to my calendar, it's my friend Sam's birthday. But it's not. Her birthday is on June 13th. My mom's is on July 10th, and I swap them every year. My calendar says so. So, Mom, happy belated birthday to the Queen Princess girl. Donna. July. Audio's working. My phone is away. We are taking today nice and slow. And by slow, I mean very caffeinated. Today's flavor is raspberry pomegranate. And it's so freaking delicious. I accidentally had 450 milligrams of caffeine yesterday. So, needless to say, I got an hour and a half of sleep last night, and I'm a little tired. So, what a gift it is here to be here together today. Anyways, so, as you can see by the title of this video, it is What in the Flux? What in the Flux? Rather, we're going to be exploring what to do in the flux, because Mercury is in retrograde AF. Everything is just a little strange and a little bad and a little good and a little bad. And it's I think everything in the universe is just in a state of just like flux. So, we can't just give up. We could, but unfortunately not my style. So today I'm going to be exploring the idea of what to do in the middle. Because if you're not going to be super effective, what are we cleaning up? If you got time to lean, you got time to clean. Saying this to myself. Because just sitting here, to give you a little insight, basically after posting for 50 days in a row on TikTok, after that 16-hour live stream, your girl fully burned out. And that's tough because the burnout doesn't feel like real. Like, it feels like I haven't worked hard enough to even earn a burnout. So it's tough because I'm sitting here like grappling with the idea of like, am I burnt out or am I just lazy? Nope. There's a lot of things in life I am, but lazy, well, there's tones of lazy. I'm okay with being lazy. But anyways, the concept of like when you're burnt out, what the hell are you supposed to do? So I am going to be using today, we're going to be exploring the concepts of executive functions and an owner's manual that I've been creating, and I've been talking about it, but it's a time to be about it, because if I'm not going to get real tangible work done today, I'm going to do some self-exploration. So yes, and we're going to go over all that. I wonder if there's any updates. What's going on in my world? I think you guys know everything. Yeah, so if you are in a state of flux, lean in. Yeah. Okay. Let's do stuff. I feel like, I don't know. Okay, just I'm going to keep beating the dead horse, but it just feels like everything I go to try and do, my brain just actively freezes up, which there's the concept of functional freeze, which I'm going to put here as well. And it's when your nervous system is just so overloaded that it seizes up. And I don't think actually, I have a few things. I'm going to add it to my list. Okay. So a few things that we're going to go over today. So before we start, let's go here. So a few things that we're going to go over. So and a lot of what I'm talking about is going to be coming directly from my ADHD coach, Lynn Cook. Love her so much. I think you can reach her at, let me find her website. Yeah. Okay, I'm putting her link in the bio. But she's the bomb, and we talk about all sorts of stuff all the time. And we've really explored a lot of a lot of what I talk about with ADHD comes like directly from Lynn. So Lynn, shout out. Love you so much. But yes, so when we were talking about it, there's apparently two parts of the brain. There's many parts of the brain, but how she describes it is a lot of time I know exactly what to do. I know exactly the importance. I know the value. I've got people holding me accountable. It's just you sit there and you're like, I should be doing it. And we don't use the should word, so it's just been a lot of shame factory lately. Also, I love all of these little baby hairs that have broken off from the buns I've been wearing. Just whoop. So they're a part of the party now. Anyways, there's the back of the head that knows what to do, and the front of the head that's the action of doing it. And how she describes is neurotypical folks have this sturdy stone bridge, easy to walk across. They know what to do, they do it. They can walk back and forth as they please. And then me and my neurodivergent folks, we've got this rickety ass, like almost like the string bridges between in the jungle, and one gust of wind and I'm off. So that is where I've found medication is really helpful to keep me on track, because it's like, you're not getting off that bridge. Whatever you do at the beginning of that 4-hour Ritalin cycle is what you'll be doing at the end of it. And yesterday, if you're hip with the car match saga, I played car match for such like 4 hours straight. This is the game I'm talking about, by the way. So silly. Amber. So in this game, like, to really describe to you the level of paralysis that this this anxiety paralytic state created. Hey Eric. In this game, you can, if you achieve certain levels, you can get like unlimited, it's an infinity sign, like infinite lives for like an hour. I acquired 36 hours of like infinite time, and that was like, if you see this, a day and a half, 1 day 2 hours. I played so hard. I acquired basically 36 of like the highest level. I was playing this game more. It was like my job. I was like, what is going on? And there's nothing I could do to get off that bridge. I was on the bridge. I was on the stone bridge, and that stone bridge wanted to play car match. So silly. And you know what's hard about it is you're in the middle of playing a silly game and you're just staring at yourself. You're like, I should be doing this. I should be doing this. I should just all of that. So to go back to the idea, basically, this bridge between knowing and doing is the idea of executive function. So executive function, and I'm going to butcher this. Let's see. Executive function is the brain's management system, controlling mental skills like working memory, flexible thinking, self-control, like an air traffic controller, helping you plan, focus, juggle tasks. There are three components: is working memory, cognitive flexibility, inhibitory control. You're on level 3,675 on Mahjong. That's crazy and impressive. So basically, it's the bridge between knowing and doing. And some will say that there's 8 functions, some will say there's 12, whatever. I don't that you can kind of spitball either way. Some of them kind of overlap and some of them don't. And sometimes I'm a little pedantic, so we're just going to let it go. But anyways, to build a better bridge, it's by having better tools in the toolbox of executive functioning skills. And so in this, when these things are how to describe when this is like not focused on, or these are extremely lacking, or if you're in a triggered state, that's where functional freeze becomes pretty tough. So let's see. Nervous system stress response when you operate on autopilot, successfully handling daily tasks while feeling emotionally numb, mentally foggy, detached. And that's kind of where I'm at in the middle of this, is like I'm almost barely not even getting the basics done. Like my house is uber clean. Um and if someone needs something, I'm like I will get, like if they really need something, I'll get it done. But other than that, it's just like this weird burnout. So today I'm going to be exploring how to snap out of it. So this is where my girl ADHD coach Lynn and I have worked on the owner's manual. And I know it looks a little lackluster, but essentially in the top here, we've got the 12 executive functions, and we'll explore individually each of those. Now, the thing about an owner's manual, if you imagine, owner's manual. I want like a picture. Like when you would go to the owner's manual, something's wrong with my engine. So I'm going to diagnose with little bits and parts, and it's going to tell me kind of more information about the vehicle, the engine. Owner's manual for the executive function is looking into, okay, how do you know when this is working and how do we keep it working? What's the preventative maintenance versus how do you know when you're in a dysregulated space or a triggered state? Like, how do you know if you hear like clanking around in your engine, that's a signal that something's wrong. If a check engine light's on, that's a signal that something is wrong with your engine. You then can start diagnosing what those potential triggers are. And then based on the potential trigger, you can create methods to navigate out of that signaled triggered state. So it's important to look similar to what I presented on at the Excel conference, which I got invited to be a speaker at the Active Cell conference again this year. So be on the lookout for a coupon code. I am thinking about doing my presentation on similar to Inside Out. I want to explore creating tools for the 5 different types of people in the workplace: the hyper nervous ones, the jealous ones, the angry people, the joyful people, like the early adopters. Like, how do you create Excel tools and use the right tools for the right kind of user, not just the right kind of problem? And so I'm excited to develop that idea, because I think I like the soft skills that surround Excel usage. Gosh, it's so good. Ooh, and they were girls. Oh yeah. I'm feeling very in my 30s today. But anyways, okay. So I'm excited about the concept of using Inside Out to describe the different coworkers that you have and building tools. And this is coming from the consultant's perspective, and that's bringing down, it's an Excel esports and kind of like a super user Excel place. But what I'm finding is not everyone has the kind of interpersonal soft skills that I do and my love for people. So anyways, I just thought I'd share the news. But anyways, so I'm excited today to explore and just document, okay, of the executive functions, you can see like I'm missing a lot of information, and you can definitely tell which ones that have the most impact on me are the ones that I find myself in most. Because some executive functions I'm pretty good at, I think organization, I'm not bad at, but things like emotional control and emotional regulation is the quickest way to fuck my day up. Okay, we're going to explore another concept of, I don't like the words they use, but we're going to get there. So essentially, if we imagine your day, if we imagine the day, and let me see if I can open this up bigger. This is from Psychology Today, Esther Cole. Okay, so basically, there's a window of tolerance where we are grounded and open and curious and we can emotionally self-regulate. Then there's the extreme A, like up top, like very stimulated, and then there's very understimulated, or like, the freeze, the fire. And so in hyper arousal, that's where you're like anxious and angry and overwhelmed and hyper vigilant, whereas the hypoarousal is like where you're like checked out. And I currently am ping ponging, and I'm going to put this inside of here. Imagine ping pong line. Yeah, okay, here we go. So I am essentially just ping ponging back and forth between extremely anxious to extremely passive. Like, it really is all or nothing lately, and I don't like that because my best work happens in this window of tolerance in the center here. And so that is where, by understanding the triggered states, because if either way, if I am, and to kind of describe, like, it's not even just about anger. When I experience emotions just generally, and this is like, if you've ever taken SSRI or like Lexapro, what it does is you feel the full range of emotions all day long. Highs, lows, high lows, high lows. And what Lexapro did to me is it cuts off my peaks and valleys. So I don't feel high highs. I don't feel super excited about anything, but I also don't feel like, oh my God, despair. So it keeps you in that window of tolerance, but you also don't feel the full range of emotions as a human, which is like kind of tough. So by understanding that that exists and that there are things and actions you can take to move where you live inside of the window of tolerance, that is where the owner's manual is very important. The secondary feature of an owner's manual, one, is when you're in like overstimulated and you're like frozen, you can remember, hey, this guide exists, because I forget half of the ADHD tools that help me regulate. I forgot that I had a desk timer on my desk right there. Sometimes it's nice to just have a little sheet of paper to be like, hey, here's a YouTube video that snaps me out of a funk. It's good to have a little dashboard. But similarly, okay, so talking about the window of tolerance in terms of emotions, usually what people think is, oh, if I'm super angry, I can't, like, I'm off put. If I have a huge win, like if I achieve something, I'm useless for the rest of the day. Like, if I have a really good meeting, the rest of the day I'm like sitting at my desk like, well, there's no beating that. What the hell am I supposed to do now? And it's not even about that. It's more of like extreme moments of dopamine or adrenaline or hypervigilance or any spike of any kind will distract my focus. And that's where I live a life of contentment. Calm. I'm not seeking happiness in my day. I'm seeking calm contentment. It's also so hot in here. I've been trying to like not use the AC because it retains cold so well in here, but it's 87 out. So, but I'm wearing a jacket and it's 87 out. Like, this apartment holds it together. Anyways, so I encourage you to look into your day to day. Are you in a state of hyperstimulus? No stimulus? Hyper excitement? How do you, like, if you're super excited about something, is that a sustainable resource of energy? For some it is. For me, horrible. I digress. So, window of tolerance. The reason why that's important is because this brings me back to a central place. This takes me into a up top or down below kind of mood. Other things that are not encompassed in these owner's manual, like these are all like the basic sub functions of executive function. These are environmental tools, I would say. And I don't think you can even see it that well, and I apologize for that. So things that can keep me in a more regulated state is having a footrest, having my crisscross chair, having comfy clothes on, smelling nice candles, like clean house, clean mind. These are things environmentally. Oh, I didn't even bring up the best part of the owner's manual. it's beneficial for yourself to have this like booklet to say, and you can make it cute, you can do whatever. And after I actually get the information, I'm going to make it cute. But it's beneficial for me. But could you imagine how nice it would be to hand this to your business partner? Matt, I'm looking at you. You're going to love this. To be able to give someone the keys to your mind and say, hey, if I'm exhibiting these behaviors, I'm probably feeling disrespected. And that is triggering my emotional regulation. Here's ways so one of the things inside of here is for emotional control. If I start getting really short and snappy with my responses, the potential trigger is that I'm perceiving that I'm being disrespected. It's not that I'm actually being disrespected. It's that I'm perceiving condescension or disrespect or something like that. And if Matt, love you so much, if Matt knew that, there's a circumstance where he could have been like, oh, she's perceiving that what I'm saying is disrespectful. Maybe we could both set in the middle of it and go, hey, clarifier, I'm not disrespecting you. Here's my perspective. Being able to name and tame that little bit of it can create a lot more stability so that you can go engineer the world. Because if you're fighting yourself, you're not going to get anything done anyway. So, if that makes sense. But the best time to sort out what your triggers are and in the middle of being triggered, it's hard to slow down and be like, this is the source. So that's why in the between flare-ups, you got to write it down and be like, hey, what was that? So that's what today is, because I am calm. I am centered. I'm in a state of I'm pretty dissociated at this point, but this is a good moment to be able to dive a little deeper into my own nonsense. So that's the benefit of a, I think Mom, you're so right. We should all come with manuals, because could you imagine just someone gives you the booklet? Now, obviously everything you can work on and develop and whatever, but to have a clear lens on, here's how my machine works right now. My little mental engine, here's what's going on. Then you can point at parts of your mental engine and say, I don't like that part. And then, because I don't like being snappy, I don't like being sharp with the people I care about. So then in the moment, I can see I'm able to slow down because I have the vocabulary, because I worked on it on the sidelines. But I digress. Anyways. Oh, deep breath. Okay. So additionally, emotional regulation, things that you wouldn't think about, but if you, one thing that's also good for emotional regulation is laying on the ground and like reversing, or like kind of getting your blood and oxygen moving in the right direction towards your head. That's helpful. It sounds bad, but I've got a Canva murder board, and it looks like a murder investigation board, and that's where I map thoughts out. And also, y'all have been snoozing on journaling. I think one of and I need to just get into the individual boxes, but anyways, my mom and I did the Artist Way program, and let me tell you, after giving yourself that you have to write 3 pages, it clears that first like layer, and then it gets into some deeper part, and that clears up a lot of space. But anyways, okay, we're back. Okay, those are emotional regulatory things that are helpful. Also, standing on one foot for a minute, I will put that in Snap Out of the Scroll. At the end of standing on one foot for a minute and then standing on the other foot for a minute, you're like, all right, enough. I want to work now. It is strange. Give it a shot. Or staring at the wall. I saw there are people that do these videos like S tier ADHD tips. Videos. People have been doing like rankings. People have been doing like rankings of, like the ranking the productivity tips or like ADHD tips, and I will say there's some pretty good ones. Okay, I digress. I also have this idea of snapping out of the scroll. And that's where I'll use apps like Opal. I would refer it to you guys, but they just updated the app and it's not very good right now. So maybe sign up in a month or so. But what something I have to do to snap myself out and like mentally jog myself and prepare myself to be able to do something is I literally have to just leave the house and come back. I could go to my car, I could go to the coffee shop, I could go to the gas station, but I must leave the house. Otherwise, my brain does not even register that it's time to work. Additionally, caffeine, obviously. These 3 songs, what's it? Not worth. I think the intro, this is the intro.
What you want to do is save hundreds when Liberty Mutual.
Oh yeah, Girl Talk, Oh No is life-changing. Anyways, having certain songs that pick you right up out of it. Okay, so I'm gonna go over these executive functions real quick, and then we're gonna dive into what does it look like when it's doing well, what does it look like, and we're gonna one at a time. So, and I also, Miss Lynn, if you're watching this and I'm butchering it, don't tell me. Leave a comment. We'll see. Okay. So, response inhibition, slowing down, thinking before acting, or resisting an urge. I would say, I'm going to give myself like little rankings. I would say 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5. 1 bad. 5 good. So, I would say response inhibition, I am pretty good at doing. Maybe, ooh, wait, let's do. I wish we had the stars. Doot, 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 doot. Oh, it doesn't give you multiple stars. Darn. We don't need it. I'm distracting. Okay. I would say. Oh, wait. No, I do know what I want. Greater than 3 is green. Less than 3, red. Equal 3, yellow. Okay. I think response inhibition is 4. Because I don't act sporadically. I'm very logical. Working memory, holding information in the mind in order to perform complex tasks. I would say 2. But I've built systems to help with that. Emotional control. I would say I am like I would say a 2 because I've gotten a lot better about it. We're going to go 3 because I think in comparison to the average Joe, I am better at maintaining composure. But if someone knows how to specifically fuck me, like just like fuck me off and just, that was a horrible way to say that, just like piss me off, like I will explode to the moon. I would say, actually, I'm going to put 2 because this is actually the most damaging. I'm going to put fucking 1. Yeah. This is the most damaging one. We're back to 2. This is the most damaging to my focus and the most likely to mess my day up. And once I'm in emotionally triggered state, it's really difficult for me to peel back from that other than just removing myself from the scenario. So I would say 2. Task initiation. This is a fucking 1. It's a -1. It's like a -5. I need like actually, yeah. We need like let's do less than 0 and then let's put like something even worse. Like like black. Maybe like deep red. Like the font is like really bad. And then this it's like bad. That's horrible. Yeah, mom, you know too much. You know exactly what I'm all yeah, you know me. Let's do like white. Yeah. Task initiation is I would say I need a lot like when I am stuck, maybe like my ability to stay unstuck is the rating. Yeah. Task initiation I really need a lot of help with. Um the additional thing is by looking at the individual executive functions, it's easy as we all say, a well-defined problem is half solved. By being able to subcompartmentalize which part of your executive function is the thing that's causing the thorn in your ability to do what you're trying to do, you're so much closer to solving it because you know which one. Sustained attention, maintaining focus over a period of time in spite of distractions or bored of. I would say I can focus. I'm the master of the hyperfocus if I care enough about it. And we're gonna put two. Planning and prioritizing, I would say I'm like a 5. That's super fine. Executing the plan is the problem. The planning and prioritization I'm great at. I would say organization is a sturdy 4 because my comfort is clearing like being organized is a comfort for me. Time management, uh, I think I am good at managing time when it matters enough. Goal directed. I'm gonna put 4.5. I am very goal oriented, but sometimes the execution to the goal is I would say 5 then because it's the execution, not the goal. 4.5. Okay. Cognitive flexibility, revising plans and expectations in the face of unexpected obstacles. I would say that's easy. I don't like all plans are going to fail. So they're like the all I plan for the variability of what could happen, so I'm not worried about that one. Metacognition, being aware of your performance and making plans to improve. 5, easy. Stress tolerance. It's tough because I believe my stress tolerance is better than most. Like, if I was talking to anybody else, they'd be like, "Oh, you handle a lot of stress." But I think internally, I don't. Oh, actually, let's read it again. Thriving in stressful situations and managing pressure while working. I would thriving. I've been rendered speechless. Mom, what would you rate my stress tolerance on a scale from 1 to solid 4? Okay. Hey, my mom said it, so um I agree. It's either yeah, I can handle myself really well in stressful scenarios. It's after the stressful scenario is over that the lack of tension makes me bleed out. It's like I am a perfect tourniquet or like I am perfectly operate like I can do everything when like I am under extreme pressure, but as soon as the pressure's gone, you know? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mom, for your assessment. Okay. Based on that, based on this, you can kind of see where the problem is. So actually, maybe we should organize this based on best to worst. So, and let's do it. Mm, 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 mm. I would say then, in comparison, organization is a 5 then. Okay, we need to break up this middle part. So we've got 4s, we've got 5s, but we need to look at working memory, emotional control, sustained attention, time management. I would say working memory is actually a 3 in comparison. I would say time management would be I would say time management's a 1. Emotional control's gotten a lot better. I would say yeah, Mom, you field all the calls. I think this is a good lineup. I think this is fair. This is a good distribution of I'm at least saying I'm okay at some stuff, and the things I would like to work on are on this end. Okay, great. Task initiation. I know, and this comes back to the freaking. It all comes back to this shit, which is so annoying. I need to use, like, truly, if I just took my own advice sometimes, I would be so much better off. Okay. Signals that task initiation is working. My to-do list has less than 5 items on it. So currently, mm, 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 I've got my stacks of paper. And each week, what I'll do is on Sundays, I'll take notes during my meetings. And then at the end of the week, it will go into my knowledge management, which is in OneNote, or it will go into my task list, which it lives on, ta-da, this. And you can see that is a lot of different things. And I have a very tough time. I put projects on a task list. Projects are a amalgamation of goals that need individual tasks taken and explored to be able to achieve goals. So by putting a project of make client portal, Amber, you dirty rat, that's many small tasks. So then what'll happen is I'll start listing out the small tasks, and then I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot of tasks. And then my to-do list looks like this. And it's tough because there's kind of this circularity of task management of people will give you like an arbitrary deadline or maybe a meaningful deadline, but it just didn't get done when you wanted it to. So then the week after, people are like, well, if you couldn't get it done by then, maybe, there's no rush now. And that's a moment of bliss of like figuring out that something really wasn't that important. But then it circles all the way back around. And then now there's a second communicated deadline, and it's now 6 times more pressure because not only have you punted that down the road, and also if this is any future client, don't watch this. This is for my fellow business owners, people to people. And I have to manage my way out of this box so I can show others that we can manage them onto their box too. The deep humanity. But anyways, this is more for like the tasks. A lot of the tasks on that list are things that I personally have been striving for. Things that need to functionally get done or getting done. It's more of I've got this long laundry list of all these really exciting things that I know I have the capacity and the mental, like I am smart enough to do. I just need to do it. And that is where it gets stuck in the middle. But I digress. Here we go. Okay. I know it's working when the to-do list has less than 5 items on it. How else do I know that task initiation is working? It's kind of easier to go with like, how do you know it's not working? Methods to keep it working. Breaking tasks. No projects on task list. Seek clarity. Oh, we're going to do that. Signals, and let me... Okay, here we go. Here we go. There we go. Okay, better. Signals I'm in a triggered state with task initiation. Sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm not triggered by the task initiation. Oh, well, actually, maybe I am. It's the signals are the opposite of enormous to-do list, stalling out, staring, not working during Pomodoro session, phone games. Because the phone with the phone games, it's like little puzzles or it's stimulus that I didn't have to work for. And the brain, well, it's like, but the illusion of a mental puzzle is the illusion of problem solving. And like, it's because those little games are within our control. It's like quick hits of, hey, I can solve problems. Tells our brain like, hey, we're still smart. We're still smart. It's like, girl, just get off your phone. So ways to get out of it is snap out of the scroll, break things down into even smaller, like small, recruited body double. Eric, shout out. Record myself doing a small task, fake body doubling. Yes. And that, even now, as we were talking about that, and I've scanned all over this, like I forgot that I used to take recordings of, like, I used to just like this. What we're doing right here is a form of actually breaking out of the task initiation, because you want to know what the fuck? Today, I was like, maybe I should just cancel Officers of the Amber. I'm not feeling it today. And so glad that I didn't, because, or like, so glad I like didn't cancel it, because this was a form of task initiation. That's what part of Officers with Amber was created for, was to create the novelty to get things done. I digress. So things that trigger this is the root of it is feeling a lack of cognitive control ability to complete. Oops. I would say also potential triggers perfectionism, which, if you know that that's the trigger, or it's the perception of expectation, because I put higher expectations on myself than anyone usually ever does. But oh my gosh, to have a silent expectation put on me and not achieve it, pass away. I would pass away. Just dead. Anyways, I think it's important to put the word perception on a lot of these, because expectations are completely concocted in your mind, or you're around people that have these insane expectations of you, which isn't yours to hold anyway. That's that other person. Um, but anyways, what should I get for dinner? That's a good question. I'm hungry. Hungry. Okay. I like the perception of expectation. Okay. Snap out of the stroll. We've got break things down into even smaller tasks. Sometimes it's just like the 3, 2, 1, go of it all. Let's give a little bit more room for Jesus here. Maybe a little less. Steak, jalapeno poppers, baked potato, and cucumber salad. That sounds so good. Man, now I'm hungrier. Dang. I think the perception of responsibility, or calling it like kind of like the God complex of like there I don't think that's the right word. What I'm trying to describe is I am plagued often by I'm the only one that could possibly be able to do this, or no one could understand what I'm going through, or I couldn't get help if I tried, or and that is completely self-imposed as well. And so with task initiation, what will happen is if I feel like which all of that kind of like the God complex of it all, which I think I'm misusing that. God complex. Unshakable belief characterized consistently inflated feelings of personal ability, privilege, well, maybe it's not the God complex. How do you describe feeling like you're the only person that could ever understand? Existential isolation. Ooh, wait, what's that word? Solipsism. Like self-alienation is kind of a hmm. It's kind of like it's like a subset of ego in ooh, am I having am I about to have an ego death on the live stream? Uh the ego is a psychological construct that defines your identity and self. It acts as a filter through all which stimuli is processed. Maybe that's a topic for another day. But when you believe that in your heart, in your soul, that you are just such a special flower, that there's special snowflake that nobody could ever understand what you're going through, I do believe we have to double click into that is a little bit of your ego, that is a little bit of your own pride, saying that there's just no way anybody could ever know what you're going through. And so that's where I did a like mom helped me with a PowerPoint, and like in my heart I was like, Well, but my family doesn't really know much about computers. It wasn't about computers. It's not about a PowerPoint. It's about having someone sit and experience a difficult moment with you. A concept, guys. Nothing is unfigureoutable. But anyways, okay. I'm having fun talking about this, even if it's not getting too far. Slow progress is progress. I am sweet angel baby Donna. Donna. Yeah, you deserve to have an ego. We'll talk about that more later. But okay. Now, I think task initiation and time management are the same breath, because getting started, once I'm started, it's easy to keep going. And that's where all three of these are kind of like, what the hardest part is getting started. The second hardest part is scheduling adequately, because I don't know when I'm going to get started. And then maintaining which let's put these all three next to each other. But the sustained attention is like, I'm almost in flight. Like the problem is getting to the sustained attention. I'm pretty good at blocking my space so that when I get into a flow state, which how to achieve flow state. There's a part in the Ikigai book where there is, it's like there's like a list. Okay, here it is. So it's knowing what to do, knowing how to do it, knowing how well you are doing, knowing where to go, the perception of significant challenge, and the perception of significant skill. That is the key. And I'm, oh, shit. That is if I had that printed out, oops, we're everywhere. Uh-oh. Maybe I'll just put it over here. Oops, I'm everywhere. I need to print this out, and it's what's important about achieving achieving flow is how you achieve tap into sustained attention. Inside of here, knowing what to do, knowing how to do it. The how to do it is sometimes where a lot of what I do is I'm building new things, and I know how to build new things, and I know how to explore problems. So that's really sometimes not the issue. Knowing how well you are doing, I think most things I do, I don't either care how well I'm doing, or the exploration is the exciting part. Knowing where to go, basically YouTube, ChatGPT, whatever. Perception of significant challenge. Everything feels like a significant challenge. And that's why I can't get into Anyways, perceiving significant skill. So like feeling that you are competent enough to do the thing. I get stuck a little bit in the knowing how to do it, and sometimes knowing where to go, because I don't have a lot of people I can go to. But anyways, I'm going to put methods that keep it working. Oh my god. Ikigai. Achieving flow state list. Okay. Time management. One thing that I do is I time block my calendar, and this is actually something that I learned from Emily Williams. Love her so much. When similar to the Ikigai, if you don't know if there's a lot of ambiguity, your brain doesn't know how to budget how much time it's going to take. So what she does is if we cannot get any more clarity, we will just give ourselves an hour to do, or 10 minutes or 15 minutes. She'll set a timer to explore in the ambiguity, rather than, I know, like if I knew I needed to do my laundry. I know that's going to take 2 hours. 1 hour washer, 1 hour dryer, and there's probably less than that, so a little bit of time for folding. 2 hours. I know how long it takes. I know how to do it. There's no ambiguity there. Whereas if I had to say I want to crochet a blanket, well, I've never really done that super successfully before, and I don't know how my sustained attention is going to do. I don't know when I'm going to do that. And so the time management gets strange. So instead of blocking 16 hours off to make this blanket, I would instead schedule 30 minutes. And then if I want to keep going after the 30 minutes, you continue. And if not, hey, you're 30 minutes closer to your goal. And that is actually the inception of engineering improv, which is where we are now. Because what I was finding was there were so many ambiguous tasks that I really need to get going on. So that's why we just set a timer and we start talking to the camera. Anyways, adequate time to do tasks. Scheduling for the transition. Also, scheduling. Assessing ambiguity, clarity before scheduling. I wouldn't even say like being realistic about they say that the ADHD folks have time blindness, and boy, yep, it just is. I know I'm in a triggered state when I'm often like I'll block out my whole calendar, but then I'll have like something else in my day kind of get into a mess, and then I'll just move everything. Or like for instance, and I wonder if my calendar is clean enough you can see what I'm talking about. Let me take, let's see if I can do, we'll just look at, okay, it's gonna look a little whack, but here we go. So you can see this is like my day calendar. You see how there's like this chunk right here where there's PR billing and this and meta and this, and there's all these things that I should be doing. It's because they were tasks that I wanted to do at like 8, 9 a.m. And then I got to noon and I was like, oh, I didn't do that thing. I'll just move it to later in the day. But it's a lot of stuff that's like required to do by tomorrow, but like kind of not. All of those things are like on their second wind deadline. So it's like all piling up together. And that creates a false sense of urgency, or just it leads to just complete leveling and just blanking out. So anyways, okay, well, 7:58. Let's see what else I can do in this 2 minutes. Let's see. Sustained attention. Picking up my phone a lot. Walking around my apartment. Sustained attention. Daydreaming. Putting new ideas on the backlog of the backlog. Potential triggers. Skill perception of skill required is greater than perception of my current abilities. Sometimes it's just the perception, and then sometimes it's also just like one small perception of numerous roadblocks. also the perception of no one to value the thing I'm doing. So like task doesn't create enough value. So I want to end on that one with basically if back to this, if the value that this thing is create like whatever I'm doing, if it's not creating value or if it's out of alignment with any of the four of these, that's when I end up doing like trying to like eat the frog and do the task, but then I won't sustain it because I know in my bones nobody cares about what I'm doing, or I can't see the value in it, or like something's stuck in the way. But, anyways, thank you for coming to Officers of the Amber. I will see you next week. And yeah, I never know when this is going to turn off. So I hope everyone has a really good week. Bye.